On our crash-filled roads, dash cams are becoming a must-have for drivers. They can provide key evidence for crashes and on-road disputes. It's kind of like having a reliable witness in the passenger seat at all times. But if the quality sucks or you don't have the right camera angles, then it's almost pointless. So that's why today I'm going to test out the new VanTrue Nexus 5 4-camera dash cam, check out all the features, take a close look at the video quality, and see if this thing is worth buying. Every year, over 6 million crashes occur in the US alone, with over 40,000 people dying on our roads yearly. It's a huge problem. Now, obviously, we need to reduce those numbers, and I won't get into that in this video, but the aftermath of those crashes often results in insurance claims and a bunch of he said, she said types of conversations, unless you have a really good dash cam. Now, obviously, a dash cam won't help you avoid collisions. Being recorded all the time might make you drive a bit more safely, but honestly, only a concerted effort to drive more defensively can help you avoid crashes. So if and when you are involved in a wreck or you witness one, having a quality dash cam is an incredibly valuable tool to collect evidence and help determine fault. And I don't think I would want a dash cam without at least 3 cameras, one facing forward, one facing inside, and one facing behind the car. And we actually have 4 cameras here with this Nexus 5. So today we'll unbox what we have here, take a close look at the features, perform a simple install, look at the video quality, and come up with our verdict. Now, if you're interested in buying this VanTrue Nexus 5, you can use my discount and link in the description below. But don't do that just yet. Let's first see if we like everything here. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, we got a little instruction card. Here is the main camera. And then in here, we've got the rear camera. And in here, I'm assuming we've got cables, some more cables down here. There's a user manual, mount for the front camera, little trim removal tool if you're gonna do a professional install of this camera. And here we've got power with USB-C and a very long USB-C cable for the rear camera. And then a microfiber cloth and some other things that you would need to install the camera. So there we have it. All right, so let's talk about these features and specs. This is the main unit right here. We've got this display, which is just slightly larger than 3 inches. And we've got these buttons down here to control the functions on the camera. So right here, we've got this front-facing camera, which shoots in HD. It's 1944p, 30 frames per second, and it gives you an approximately 158-degree view. And VanTrue says that the front camera can capture fine details during the day or night. It automatically balances the exposure for light and dark spots and minimizes motion blur, so we'll be sure to test all that out. And if we flip this around, this interior camera right here, this shoots at 1080p, 30 frames per second with an approximate 160-degree view, and it also has 4 infrared LED lights for low light and night situations. So now let's take a look at this rear camera. This is the camera that faces out of the car, and this shoots at 1080p. It's got a 165-degree view, and it features multiple exposures, which should allow the capture of license plates even when the car behind you has their lights on. And if we flip this over, we've got the rear cabin camera. This also features 4 infrared lights, shoots at 1080p, and should get pretty good coverage of the back seat depending on how it's installed. So this is also equipped with GPS, so it will record your driving route and speed, and we'll sync that to the video in the VanTrue app. So it has this little magnetic piece right here, and that slides off, and underneath there, you will see where you can install your micro SD card. That goes in right there. There's also a reset button under here. You can also use voice control here, so you can use speech commands to take photos, to lock the video, to end the recording, or to turn on and off Wi-Fi. And speaking of Wi-Fi, this is how you can connect your phone to the camera to view and download videos using the VanTrue app. So we'll be sure to check that out. And if you hardwire this into your car instead of just using this 12-volt adapter, there is a parking mode which will help monitor your car while it's parked. So that's pretty cool. So VanTrue also sent me this car jump starter to check out. I didn't realize that they also made these types of products. So let's see what we've got here. That's got a pretty cool design. Looks like there's also a light. Oh, that's pretty cool. It gives you the percentage of charge right there. You can have the light flash. It looks like it also has a hazard light there, which could be useful if you have a problem on the side of the road. Very neat. So I don't have any dead batteries on any of my cars right now, so I don't need to use this at the moment, but having something like this sitting around in your garage or in the back of your car could be incredibly useful. It could also be used as a power bank for your phone, so this is a pretty useful little gadget. All right, so back to the camera. Let's get this thing installed. All right, so I've decided to install this camera in my 2005 Scion XB that I've had since new. Now, this is a car that I've loved over the years. I still love driving it, but you know, technology in here isn't the newest. I did upgrade to Apple CarPlay, and now I'm looking forward to adding this 4-camera dash cam in here. So let's get started. Let's start by routing the power. So at some point, I'm probably gonna do a more permanent install and actually hardwire this to the car, but right now I'm just gonna use the 12-volt jack right down here. And for now, this is going to look a little bit ugly because I'm just gonna have the wire kind of dangling right here, but at some point, I will wire it up through the top here and then down through this A-pillar. Next up, we're going to mount this camera. So here's the main camera. It's gonna go right about here. So before you mount the camera to your windshield, they recommend that you clean it off with rubbing alcohol, so I'll go ahead and do that right now. It's gonna go right about here. So next up, you take this electrostatic sticker, you take off the number 1 side first. So next you wanna make sure that you set your mount correctly on the windshield. It looks like this, so we'll put that up next. First, we take this number 2 sticker off. All right, so here's the mount. Let's peel this off. That should be good to go, I think. So now we'll go ahead and put the camera on there. So the power for the camera actually goes into the mount right back here. So I've got my long cable to route all the way back to the rear camera. And again, this is not a permanent install, so it's gonna look a little unfinished. I'm just gonna route it over here for now. And this plugs into the top right here. Now let's go take care of the rear cameras. All right, let's clean off this glass, a little bit of alcohol. I think I'm gonna mount it kind of a little bit lower here. All right, so once again, we affixed the number 1 side of the electrostatic sticker and put it right here. The next thing is when you mount this, you just need to make sure that the VanTrue logo is not upside down, or else you'll have this image upside down. So if you're doing a professional install, you'd mount the cable up through this side panel, through this grommet right here and into the back hatch. All right, so let's plug this in right here. And now we are good to go. Okay, let's set all of the functions here. Okay, it's formatting the card. Everything's getting set up. Interesting. So I'm having trouble getting this thing to connect with Wi-Fi. So I just deleted the VanTrue app and reinstalled it. Let's see if this works now. Okay, still not connecting. All right, so obviously I'm having some trouble connecting this app to the camera. Okay, so I brought it over to my Mac, downloaded the latest firmware version. It's updating now. Let's see if this does the trick. Let's try again. All right, so it finally connected. I just had to restart my phone. That actually did the trick. All right, so now we have access to all of the photos and videos and all these settings from the VanTrue app. Now I can see the live view, the live preview. So once we start filming some test footage, we'll use this app to download it off of the camera. All right, so let's go for a drive. Okay, so here we are looking at the front camera during the daytime. It's very sunny out. Everything looks very clear here. Let's see if the quality is high enough to grab this person's license plate, and they're about a car length ahead. So let's zoom in. Yep, looks great, very easy to read. Now we're headed into the sun. This car is about 3 car lengths ahead. Can we see their plate? Not really. Though it is really easy to tell the make and model of their car. Okay, so now we're at about 5 car lengths driving into the sun. Zooming in, and no, we definitely cannot see the license plate. So we are running into the limitations here. Okay, so let's check out the rear camera. When someone is right behind you, it's very easy to see lots of detail, and of course, the plate is easy to read. On to the interior cameras. The quality here is perfectly acceptable. It's easy enough to see faces. And the rear cabin camera could be very useful if you're an Uber or Lyft driver, or if you've got kids in the back. All right, now let's check out some test footage at dusk. The sun has just gone down here. Still pretty good image quality out the front. I think this would be perfectly acceptable if an incident occurred. Okay, so now let's check out some footage at night. Also, here's what the interior audio sounds like.
All right, I'm about 4 car lengths away from this car. Can you see the license plate?
And at 4 car lengths, it's not too difficult to determine the make and model, but the license plate is not captured due to the reflections from my headlights. Now we're at about 1 car length, and you can just barely make out the license plate, though it's easy to tell the make and model and the color of the car.
Out the rear camera, we're getting some light beams from the headlights, but that could just be from my rear glass. And yes, here you can easily see the license plate on the truck behind me. Again, the interior cameras at night are acceptable. It's easy to make out faces and the night vision works really well. Overall, I'd say we've got very good video quality here. It's very easy to determine the makes and models of cars and see most major details of each location. If you absolutely need legible license plates in all cases, you may need to shell out more cash for something with 4K cameras. But this can catch the plates in many cases if you're close enough and your headlights aren't reflecting on the plate.
All right, so I got the VanTrue app loaded up. Let's connect the device. The first thing you see is the live view. So this is what the camera is filming at the moment. So click down here. You can see all of the videos that you have on the unit. And as you can see, there are quite a few of them. Each clip is broken up into smaller segments. If you're looking for something in particular, each of these has a timestamp. But if you don't remember exactly when something occurred, it could take you quite a long time to download all of these files to your phone. So you can click on a video and it'll automatically start playing. And if you want to see the GPS information for the video, you will have to actually download it to your phone. Now, once you're here, you can see the GPS data sync to the video, which is pretty cool.
Okay, so what does all of this cost? The VanTrue Nexus 5 comes in at just under $400. And that might seem a bit pricey, but if you do ever get in a wreck, having detailed video evidence from 4 different angles could potentially save you a lot more money than the asking price of this system. So what do you think of this dash cam system? I'm pretty happy with it. Like most things, there are a few nitpicks.
Getting the app to connect to the camera initially was a bit time consuming, but once it got connected, videos downloaded to my phone pretty quickly. There are a few situations where license plates aren't legible, and the audio quality isn't great, though that's not really much of an issue.
But overall, it's a pretty good setup with very good video quality. I'm glad that I finally have some high quality footage and multiple angles of my daily drives. So if you want to buy one of these VanTrue dash cams, be sure to use the discount code and link I have in the description below. I guess that's it for today. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon. If you'd like to help support the channel, please buy a Hello Road t-shirt at hello road.tv/shop. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're well, and I'll see you soon.